There is apparently a Tanishq store in South Delhi that does $100 million, 800
Yeah.
crores in a year. एक store, Chirag. One store.
Wow.
800 crores, एक store करता है उसका. Of course, it's an aberration, but their average is obviously much higher, right? So there is a
Yeah.
different premiumness, if I can call it, to a Tanishq brand, and CaratLane sort of plugged some of that, if I could say, the lower end, or what we can call fast fashion in jewelry, right? Where people wanted something for lighter occasions or more frequent occasions. कि ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत ही एक प्रीमियम ओकेजन है 10 साल में एक बार तो मैं तनिष्क से खरीदूंगी, maybe I'll buy something from CaratLane because this occasion comes almost once every 6 months, right? Different birthday parties, kitty parties, whatever it is. So it made sense for Titan to plug and say, instead of building a brand for the value segment, I'll buy a brand and then scale that. And of course, that would be something that Blue Store would have seen and said, okay, I am also a value/convenience brand, and therefore I should go offline. And was the pivot from gold to precious stones also because this CaratLane did it, or was there some other thought process in your
No, I think so. They were always heavy on diamond, right? So I think from day one they were always heavy on diamond, also
Okay.
because of the positioning of the company, right? So let's think about the consumer psyche, right? So if I just say gold, whoever is buying gold today, pure gold, right, is buying this as a store of value because it's an appreciating asset. I am putting 1 lakh today. I know that after 5 years, if I go back in the market and sell, at least it would have compounded by whatever, let's say 10%, right? And I can go and sell. The diamond on the other end, one is, first of all, there is a retailer margin of say 30%, for example. So if I buy a diamond today from a Tanishq store, if I sell back to Tanishq, they'll give me 100% of the value. But if I go and sell it to somebody else, I'm already getting 70% of the value because Tanishq already has kept a 30% margin on the diamond, basically, right?
Interesting.
So the person who is buying the diamond is not buying that and on the top of the diamond as this diamond has depreciated over last 5 years. If you look at his recent history, diamond has actually depreciated in value, right? So now if I think from a consumer psyche of who is buying gold versus who is buying diamond is very, very different, right? If you think about it, the gold is probably your and my mother's generation who see that as a store of value, where diamond is more of a luxury and a fashion statement, right? And that's where the positioning is very different. The positioning is, if you think about traditional jewelers, even like Kalyan is like, everything is about wedding jewelry or the traditional buyers who want to buy very gold heavy jewelry, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Tanishq is somewhere in the middle, but still more towards gold. And CaratLane and Bluestone took a position that I want to serve today's new generation woman who wants to buy the jewelry as a fashion and not as a store of value के इतना बड़ा हार ले लिया और वो लॉकर में पड़ा है basically, right? And they won't wear that. Like the today's woman is not going to wear that heavy necklace, right? So within jewelry market, they took a very different positioning, and hence there was a choice of being diamond focused and not just the gold heavy jewelry, right? Because of the segment they are going after, right? If Kalyan, even if they want to sell a diamond jewelry, it's very hard for them because of the segment they are going after as a consumer segment. Yeah.
Very interesting. And if I therefore see a higher gross margins, though maybe lower throughput per store, because the TAM for gold is still much bigger than, and of course over time as the youth today looks at more fast fashion, even from a jewelry perspective. But then comes along this new problem of lab-grown diamond. I mean, the entire VC ecosystem, there are like 5 companies that bets have been taken on the lab-grown diamond space. So is that a threat to a CaratLane or a Bluestone, which are more focused on diamond and precious stones as a business versus gold?
I wouldn't say that it's a look. I think first we have to all understand that it's a very, very large consumption category. Probably one of the, as I said, one of the largest, right? So it's not like Bluestone does what the top line, the quarterly is say 2,000 crore odd, right? So that's or yearly 2,000 crore roughly, right? So that is like if I think about all these brands is really, so it's not like because lab grown will come, the Bluestone sales will be impacted. Everybody can go and acquire some part of the market basically, right? If I just say India jewelry is such a large consumption category, there is a part of the market available to everybody, right? Now, what is the psyche of a person who is buying a lab grown diamond today, right? The psyche is very similar to a transition happened from the gold to diamond. That if I want to buy a 1 carat real diamond, it's going to cost me a bomb, right? Basically. But if I can buy a But I'm a 24-year-old getting engaged. I want to buy a big rock. I can buy it at 1/10, 1/8 of the cost, right? Basically. Why not, right? So now it is changing the definition of luxury for this generation, right? Where just buying a small diamond was a luxury, but now suddenly because of lab grown, I can buy a big rock. I can wear a big rock, right? And have that as a luxury, right? That is the
increase हो रहा है.
right, exactly, right?
Massification of diamonds है.
Correct, right.
But having said that, let's say if somebody can afford, they would still want to buy the original diamond.
Yes, they would. That is exactly that is how the market will play out. That there is a segment of consumer we want to buy still the original diamonds. In fact, we have heard cases where people are saying, I want to have one set of jewelry which is real diamonds, but I also want to have a travel jewelry. I don't want to carry a very expensive diamond when I am traveling, right? So I will wear the lab grown when I am doing some business travel, right? I don't want to carry. So that also could happen, right? So people may have like a basket of products, something will be pure, just store of value, gold, heavy gold, something will be pure diamond and something will be lab grown, right? So that also could happen, right? So that's how it's playing out. But a lot of the consumers who are buying lab grown is buying with this psyche, right? So just to give an example for the brand like Okera, the average order value is 1 lakh rupee, right? So it's not like because lab grown somebody is buying it some very cheap jewelry, right? Somebody is buying actually a big rock, right? And that is what's getting proven basically, right?
1 lakh
And,
rupee for a lab grown diamond, huh?
Yeah, because you can buy 1 carat big rock for a lab grown, right? Which will cost you 8-10 lakh if you were to go and buy the real diamond. Basically.
Real diamond.
Yeah.
Would you know what is
I'm
Bluestone's
assuming that
average
it's
AOV?
the same affluent customer who's only buying. It's not like
Yes, right.
1 lakh
Yeah.
rupees, at least in India, is not becoming massification.
Matlab, correct, you're right. But as I said, right, when you are getting engaged, right, you will still buy a ring, right? Say you will buy a ring at least of 70,000-80,000, right? Even if you want to buy a real diamond, right? But now just by spending a little more, I am getting to buy a 1 carat diamond ring, right? So that's what people are thinking, right? So it's again little bit of occasion where is what they're able to tap into. Yeah.
The gross margins of Bluestone, if they are double of what the gold guys are, shouldn't the profitability also be higher considering, unless there is just a different inventory turn? But मुझे लग रहा है over time तो यार retail store भी छोटा है, आपका उतना शूशा भी नहीं है. It's like a 400 square feet store against a Tanishq का maybe 2-3-4,000 square feet, right? So all of these models will somewhere boil down to what is the gross margin you make. And if the gross margin is so much higher, why is their profitability lower? One hypothesis is they have put up a lot of stores in the last 1-2 years, and therefore the operating leverage is yet to kick in. And I'll tell you why I'm interested in this, because I was looking at the CaratLane. So CaratLane ka alag se abhi bhi they file separately, even though they are acquired by Titan. CaratLane shows a 9% EBITDA, and let's assume it's steady state now. And Kalyan Jewelers is a 7% EBITDA business, which is, I think, the second or third largest gold player. So clearly a high GM translating to a higher profitability, and therefore by design, maybe a higher ROCE, assuming inventory turns are the same, is possible. And the other thing, at least I'm hearing on the street, is that because CaratLane can even go higher EBITDA if they sell on higher AOV, but then it will start cannibalizing Tanishq. So they want the Titan wants to keep all its brands very separate, and they don't want any overlap. So if Bluestone doesn't have that, anyone from top pushing ki don't go higher AOV, by design looks like the business can do a 10% EBITDA as well, which at this pace of growth seems like a very lucrative opportunity to even invest now and sort of ride the wave to maybe a $2 billion market cap once the operating leverage starts kicking in.